Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be trying out all of my Sephora sale haul with you. I've been waiting to film this for a few days. Wanted to make sure I got all of my stuff and my online orders in so I could try them all at the same time. We're trying tons of new things today, which is just my favorite. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you'll stick around and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we're gonna try so much new makeup today. This kind of video I freaking love to film. It's so, I don't know, just if you're a makeup lover, I know you know what I mean, but trying new makeup is just the most fun thing ever. And we have a good bit of it today. So I have my skincare done already. I don't have a new sunscreen. I don't have a new primer or anything. So I just used my sunscreen as primer today, but I do have a new foundation. And actually, if you watched my Sephora haul, you have not seen this because it was not in that haul. This was another order that I placed. And I finally picked this up. I've been so excited to try this from Shiseido, the Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. This has been on my loves list for the longest time, and I don't know why I've never ended up actually buying it, but I have only heard amazing things about this foundation. Really, the concealer, the whole Synchro Skin line seems to be very popular. So I'm excited to try this. This does have, let's see, SPF 30, and I have never seen Shieseido in the store. I don't think Sephora stores usually have it in store. So I've never seen these shades or anything in person. So I just kind of had to guess. But I went with shade 210 Birch. So here is what the packaging looks like. And I did pump this out yesterday just to see the color because I couldn't stand it. But I couldn't figure out how to pump this at first, but you have to like twist it to be able to pump it out. So I am very, very excited to try this. And let's use my new brush. So I showed this in my haul video. This is the number 56 brush from Sephora. And this is, a few of you told me that you had this brush and you really liked it, so I'm excited to try it. This is what it looks like. All right. So I'm gonna do, I think this is supposed to be like a medium coverage, but I really don't know. Okay, I think this color is gonna be good. So that is it there. And let's just go for it. Yeah, Jessica Braun bought this recently, or I guess like in the last few months, and she used it and instantly said that it was like the prettiest foundation she's ever worn, ever. So I have very high hopes for this. And a few of you told me too that you had tried it and you really loved it too. Okay, and lately I've kind of talked about this, but I've been spraying my foundation before I blend it in with my Charlotte Tilbury spray. I did get one of these from the sale, but obviously I'm not going to open it, so I use this one. If you have not tried this trick with your foundation, highly recommend it. This brush is a little more, I can't think of what I'm trying to say. It's not as dense as the brushes that I'm used to using, but it makes it a little bit easier actually to kind of press and blend. Okay, I think this color is good actually. I will say, not to like toot my own horn or anything, but somehow I'm really good at picking my foundation shades online. I don't know why, but I've always felt like I was pretty good at it. Okay, so this is blending in like a dream. I'm really excited to see how this compares to my new foundation love, the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, because nothing has beat that one yet. This is very pretty. I can already tell. I have some left on the back of my hand, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more, and this was just one pump of foundation. So here is one pump. I just looked up really close in my little handheld mirror, and it does kind of remind me of the Nars foundation, like the finish of it. I do think this one is slightly more radiant looking, but it's similar. It's similar for sure. I would say this is like a lighter medium coverage, but I really like how it looks. It looks very skin-like. It is definitely radiant, but not overly dewy. So I'm gonna take just a little bit more, like not even half a pump probably. And I'm gonna add a little bit here and here. The texture of it even kind of reminds me of the Nars because it's very thin. So I'm just gonna go over these two areas and see if we can build up any more coverage. And yeah, I definitely think it did. I'm liking this brush so far too. So that definitely added some coverage. I would say this is definitely more of a medium coverage now. And it looks a little weird because I have nothing else. I have nothing else on my face. Normally I apply my color corrector first, but I wanted to see what this looks like on its own. I will say this brush is really nice to get around your nose. Some of my more like dense, larger brushes are kind of hard around that area sometimes, but this is nice. So do you see the glow on my face? I mean, it's definitely there. It's not anything crazy, but it definitely does have some radiance to it. A little more than the Nars in my opinion, but very pretty. I think this is a pretty true medium coverage now, and the color looks pretty good. I'm excited. Okay, now I'm gonna do, let me close this up. I am going to apply some corrector real quick. I won't bore you with that because I'm gonna use the Bobbi Brown stick as always, and then I'll come back and we will try a concealer. See what Bobbi Brown under eye corrector does. I challenge someone to find a corrector that's better than that stick. The stick from Bobbi Brown, I mean, it is so good. Anyway, let's move on to concealer. I have 3 new concealers. So I've been trying to decide what I was gonna use. I got a newer shade in the Kosas concealer, and I'm not gonna use this one today because I've used this in other videos. I wanna use different things, but I did end up getting 2.5C in this concealer, and I'll obviously use it in another video, but I have 2 others. So I did also get the Shiseido Synchro Skin self-refreshing concealer, but I also got the Bobbi Brown stick because I just have to try it. I love that corrector so much. I just have to try the concealer version. So I'm thinking what I'll do is just do one on each eye because I'm not going to be able to stand it if I don't use both of them. So I figured we will just do one each. Okay, so we'll do Bobbi Brown first. So the packaging looks like the corrector stick, and I got the shade Sand, and I think this is going to be a good shade for me. That is it there. I'm thinking we'll do Bobbi Brown on this eye, and we'll do the Shieseido on the other eye. I'm going to do some there and some out here. I'm actually going to use this brush from Bobbi Brown. It's the full coverage touch-up brush, and I'm just going to tap this in. What's great about that corrector from Bobbi Brown, I'll pull it out and show you in a minute, but it does such a good job at correcting the darkness under my eyes that honestly I don't need a whole lot of concealer because it almost does the job for me, or for the concealer. Oh my gosh, you guys, I think this is gonna be good. Oh, I truly wish you could see in person what this looks like. It is obviously the same formula as the Corrector. Let me just grab it out here so I can show you. So here's the Corrector. This is what I had on first, and I wear the shade Bisque in the Corrector, but look how pretty those two look together. And you saw I didn't apply that much of the concealer, just a little bit here and then a little bit out here. But the finish on this, the formula, I mean, so many of you have told me you've gotten this because of me and you love it. Y'all know I try all the Correctors, and I'll tell you if I don't like it. This is so freaking good. And wow, I think this is going to be a new favorite too, you guys. Let's try. I want to see how this matches on my face. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. There. The way to describe this, the best way I can think of is it feels almost velvety. It's so thin and smooth. It feels just very weightless on your skin. But yeah, it gives coverage. Sometimes if you're wanting a texture like that where you can't really feel it on your face, you kind of sacrifice the coverage, but not with these. And it does match my skin too, which is nice. That looks really good, you guys. It looks really good. I'm telling you, if you haven't tried these from Bobbi Brown, highly recommend either one. Obviously, this is the first time I've used the concealer, but first impression of that is I really like it. Then we'll do the Shiseido on the other side. So this is the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Concealer, and this is the shade 201 Light. This was also influenced by Jessica Braun. She always talks about how much she loves this too. It's so tiny. You see how tiny this is? Oh, the doe foot is kind of like a round applicator. That is it there. And the packaging says this is supposed to be medium to full coverage. It is very tiny though. All right, I'm gonna use my favorite Sigma F03 on this side. Okay, that blended in really easily. Actually, the colors of these two don't look that different from each other on my face. I do think the Shiseido is a little bit lighter and maybe a little more neutral than the Bobbi Brown, but they're not like super, super different. The Shiseido, I would say, looks maybe slightly more matte than the Bobbi Brown one. All right, let's add a little more of the Shiseido because this is definitely, I would say, more on the medium side right now. And it says medium to full coverage. It is very, very thin though, extremely lightweight. Blends in super easily too. Okay, yeah, that definitely added coverage. I don't know that I would say it's like super, super full coverage. I don't know, maybe if you apply a lot more, you would get more coverage, but it looks really good under my eyes so far. I don't really know. I think these are supposed to be self-refreshing throughout the day. I don't really know what that means, but this whole line is supposedly supposed to refresh itself. So we will see. But really impressed with both of these so far. All right, next we have a bronzer, and this was one of the things I wanted the most, and it was very hard to get your hands on, but I finally got it. This was what I was buying when I ended up buying the Shiseido foundation, but it's the Rare Beauty Stick Bronzer in the shade Happy Soul. Yeah, so these have been out of stock forever. Every single time I go to a Sephora, pretty much all the shades are gone except the deepest shade, but I really wanted this one. I think this is the second to lightest shade. Oh yeah, which is, oh, that is a pretty bronzer color. Wow. These have been getting amazing reviews, so I am super excited to try this. Look how well that just blended in. I just kind of blended that in with my finger. When I swatched these in the store, they have a very different texture to them. They blend, they almost feel like velvety, kind of like what I was talking about with that Bobbi Brown Corrector. I can't ever decide with sticks if I want to go like right on my face with it or if I should get like a brush and do it that way. Honestly, might just use this same Sephora brush, and I think I'm just gonna get some on here first and we'll try this way. Do you see how well that just blended? I knew that there had to be something to these because literally I've been trying to find one of these for a while, like even before the Sephora sale, and you could not, or I couldn't at least, I could not find one. Oh my gosh, yeah, this formula is so different. Like, do you see how that just blended so easily? It literally feels like velvet on my skin, like so smooth. This color is so pretty. It's a little less warm than the lighter shade. I think the lighter shade is called Power Boost, but this one is still warm, but it's not quite as warm as that one. That one looked a little bit orangey to me, just when I looked at the swatch online. I'm gonna put some on the sides of my nose. Bringing some on my neck and my jawline too. This may be literally the creamiest, most blendable cream bronzer I've ever used. I mean, it just like glides. I always thought the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand was like the easiest product to blend, but this is kind of rivaling it. Okay, this may be, wow, I really, really like this. Oh my gosh, let me know if you've tried these. If you can get your hands on one, I definitely think it's worth checking out. All right, for blush, I have two, so we're gonna use both. Of course, I got one of the Rare Beauties, and then I got the Sephora Collection powder blush, and the Rare Beauty blush is in the shade Happy. I've already tried this formula. I have the shade Hope, and I love that one. This one is more of a kind of bubblegum pink, more of a cool toned pink. How pretty. These you do not need much. The smallest bit goes a very long way. So we're gonna do one dot, and we're just gonna go with this brush. The color of this kind of reminds me of the Patrick Ta, She's That Girl, that I always rave about because I love it so much. The color of this kind of reminds me of that, but it's just a little less warm. This one is a little more cool. The Patrick Ta one has just a little more of a warm undertone to it, but holy, do you see this? This is one of the dewy ones, right? Yeah. Yeah, so this is the dewy formula, which do I have a matte? I don't think Hope is matte. I'm pretty sure Hope is dewy too. Oh my gosh, look at that color. Oh. And actually this brush blended this out really, really well. I love brushes like this that are like multi-purpose that you can use for a bunch of different things. Again, you do not need a lot. I don't know what is up with me in blush lately, but I just cannot, I cannot get enough. I'm gonna take a little bit of what's on the back of my hand on my nose. But, I mean, love it. I kind of knew that I would, but holy crap. So pretty, this shade. Honestly, all of the Rare Beauty blush shades are really pretty, but I really like this one. Okay, I'm gonna take a sponge real quick. This one is just like barely damp. And I'm just gonna kind of tap over everything since we've got a bunch of creams on my face. Okay, now I have to decide if I'm gonna put any of the powder blush on. I feel like I really don't need anything else, but I also really want to try this. So I'm just gonna use a fluffy blush brush, and this is the shade Flirt It Up, which is really pretty. This is the shade Makeup by Ariel, made famous on TikTok. So I'm just taking like the tiniest bit and just kind of tapping over. Oh my gosh. Because I don't want to get too much. That pairs well with that Rare Beauty blush too. Oh, so good. This is the Smashbox Buildable Cheek Brush. It's a really good one if you want more of a light application of blush. I really don't need any highlight, but I really want to try this because I got the Sephora Clean Glowing Skin Multi-Stick in the shade Supernova, which is kind of a champagne-y gold color. I got this because I saw Rudy Berry here on YouTube. She was using this and talking about how pretty it was. And this was, I think it was $10, but then it was 30% off with the sale. I think there's two shades. There's one that's a little more of an icy kind of whitish color, and then there's this one. So I'm gonna get some on my brush. I'm gonna use that same brush. And I'm just gonna tap. Oh gosh, that's pretty. Wow, yeah, I hadn't, until I heard her talking about this, I actually had not seen anyone mention these. But wow, that is a pretty highlight. Oh, it's very, almost gives you that kind of wet look, which I really didn't need any more highlight, but I like that too. I feel like that would be pretty as like a primer almost underneath, kind of like the Hollywood Flawless filter. So I'll have to try that at some point. But okay, now I'm gonna apply a little bit of powder and fill in my brows, and then I'll be back. All right, let's move on to the eyes. I did fill in my brows and apply a little bit of powder, and then I did use a little bit of eye primer on my eyes. And I have two well, actually I have three. I have the Patrick Ta palette also, but I'm going to do a whole separate video on that. But I really want to use this Give Icy in Color palette. So this is the Gwen Stefani makeup line. And this one is in Simple Kind of Life. So this is the packaging. This is going to be, from what I can tell, just by looking at it, it's a very muted, neutral palette. So we're not going to do anything crazy today on the eyes. And the other thing that I got was this Sunrise Shadow Stick from Makeup Forever. I don't know if I want to use this today or not. Actually, I think I'm going to wait on this and we'll use this in another video, but I really just want to try this palette. So these are the shades. They kind of remind me of shades that are in the Urban Decay Naked 2 Basics palette, but you get a little more warmth in this one. That one is super cool toned. I'm just gonna do something quick with this. So I'm gonna take this light shade right here, and I'm just gonna put this all over. Kind of set down that primer that I put down. So this is obviously just a really light, kind of a pinky cream color. Formula is definitely kind of powdery. You get a little bit of kick up in the pan, but that doesn't really bother me. I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade and this shade. So I'm gonna take just a mix of both. One is a little more on the gray side, and then one is a little more warm, almost like a camel color. And I'm gonna apply this in the crease. So they're definitely, like I said, they're more muted colors, so they're not like intensely pigmented right off the bat, but I mean, that makes sense for her and what she wears. She does really minimal eyeshadow, winged liner, and mascara, or false lashes, I'm assuming, for the most part. But the colors are very pretty, and they did blend well. Just gonna go over this just a bit more. They definitely do have some fallout in the pans, if that bothers you, just FYI. But I just thought this would be a really nice, like, everyday matte palette. I honestly don't have many palettes that are all mattes, and these colors are really light and just very wearable for every day. All right, and then I want to take this corner shade. This, I would say, is the darkest shade. It kind of looks like a grayish green, almost like an army green, but it's very muted. It's not, definitely has a good bit of gray in it, but it has a bit of a green undertone too. So I'm switching to more of a tapered brush, and I just want to add just a little bit of this. Oh, that's nice. Again, not super pigmented, but this palette is not really meant, I don't think, to be for someone looking for extreme pigment, you know? Yeah, that shade is pretty. It definitely looks more gray on the eyes than green. It just looks a little bit green in the pan. That's pretty. Very basic. It reminds me of looks that I would do with that Urban Decay palette that I was talking about. But I do think the formula is pretty good. I mean, it blended really well. It's a very powdery, kind of a more buttery formula, but it does have some kickback, like I said. But it's very pretty. I feel like this would be good if you're a makeup minimalist and you want the most basic of basic shadows for an eye look, just for every day. You might really like this. Someone that's intimidated by a lot of color and a lot of pigment would probably really like this. So I'm excited. I definitely think this will be something I will reach for just for every day. Now, oh, actually one more thing I want to do. I want to put just a little bit on my bottom lash line. So I'm going to mix those two shades we mixed for the crease. And I'm going to put just a little bit of those on the bottom lash line. So I don't have a new eyeliner. I think I might do a little bit of a wing with my Charlotte eye powder pencil. I'll do that off camera because you see me do that a million times. And then I do have a new mascara. You guys, I got the mini Macstack Mascara, the one that has literally sold out multiple times. I was gonna get the full size, but they didn't have it. So I got this, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick little wing and then we'll be back. Okay, let's try out the Macstack Mascara. I have seen this, I'm sure all of you have, all over literally every single social media platform. So I'm really excited to try it. I'm gonna quickly curl my lashes. So supposedly you can do multiple coats of it and it will not clump, supposedly. Let's try this out. I actually didn't even know it came in a mini. I got mine at a MAC counter. I don't think Ulta had the minis from what I saw, but this is what it looks like. I'm sure you've all seen it all over everywhere. And this comes with there's two different brush types. So this is the mega brush. So this is supposed to be for full volume, long, voluminous lashes. And then there's a micro brush, which is more for short lashes or bottom lashes. But this is the mega one. So that's one coat. Definitely didn't clump with one coat. So let's see what happens if we go in with more. Really didn't clump, you guys. It makes your lashes look almost thicker. Like each lash, it makes it look thicker, if that makes sense. It looks really good. Let's go in with a little bit more. So this will be a third coat of it and see. So there is one eye done. So definitely that third coat, I do think got a slight little bit of clumpiness, but nothing bad, not as bad as I would think with that much mascara. It definitely, not an everyday mascara, but it makes your lashes really stand out. Like they look very apparent, if that makes sense. It's a very thick, very black formula. So I don't think this would be like an everyday mascara for me, but I mean, it looks nice. If you want your natural lashes to look very noticeable, this would probably be a really good one to look into. Let's do the other side. There it is. Okay, I will say, I mean, this formula is definitely going to get clumpy. I don't know if you can see, but like on the edge, it's already starting to kind of collect excess product. So, I mean, I would kind of expect that because it's a very thick formula, like I said, but it does look nice. I mean, if you want a dramatic lash look, you might really love this. I will be curious to see if it smudges or anything throughout the day, but definitely good for dramatic lashes. I don't know about no clumps. I think the more you build it, definitely you're getting a little bit of clumpiness in there, but overall it looks very pretty. All right, last for the lips, I have a bunch of new lip products, but I only have one lip liner, and it's the Pat McGrath lip pencil in the shade Contour. Kind of mentioned this in my haul, but this was one that I've wanted for the longest time, but it's almost always out of stock, or this color is almost always out of stock on Sephora, but I was able to find one in store. It's a really pretty brown, kind of a taupey color almost. So let's use this. These Pat McGrath lip liners, I think they're called the Permagel, and that's kind of what I would call this formula. It's definitely very smooth. It does kind of almost feel gel-like. Yeah, I like that color. Definitely a little different than what I typically go for, but I kind of wanted something cooler toned like this. All right, and for the lips, you guys, I don't know how I'm gonna choose what we're gonna use. So I have the Merit Signature Lip in the shade Baby. Honestly, I'm probably gonna use this because I was really excited about these. I love this packaging, but this color is so pretty. So that is it right there. It's a rosy color, very sheer and hydrating, which is my favorite kind of lipstick. But then I also got this from Nars in the shade Dolce Vita. Definitely similar. Dolce Vita, a little warmer than the Merit color. The Merit's a little cooler toned. And then we have one of the new Givenchy Rose Perfecto lip balms. I'm probably not going to use this because I feel like this doesn't really go with the look, but it's the pink one that I got. This is the one that adjusts to your skin tone, or your pH, I mean. So it's going to look a little different on everyone. So that is that right there, kind of more of a bubblegum pink. And then the last one is one of my favorite lip glosses of all time, which is the Dior Lip Maximizer in the shade Beige. So I'll probably put a little bit of this on top of whatever we use. I now have 4 of these because they're just my favorite. So this one is there. So not a lot of color, just a little bit of a beigey nude, but like I said, my favorite formula ever. So I'm thinking, let's see, I think we're gonna do the Merit in the shade Baby. Wow, that is so creamy. Oh, wow, that feels so good. Oh my gosh. Feels almost like a lip balm, but with that much color. Ooh, that is really pretty. Okay, I like that a lot. Let's see, should I put some of the Nars on top? I guess I can. So this is Nars in Dolce Vita. Just adds a little more warmth. Again, a very pretty color. This is one of the sheer lipsticks from Nars. And then on top, we have to put a little bit of this because it's my all-time favorite gloss. So good, you guys, so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'll use this all the time because it goes with everything. But obviously I don't need to layer this many products, but I just kind of wanted to try it out. So, so pretty. All right, I think that is it. I'm just gonna quickly spray my face. And then I'm just gonna kind of tap around with my sponge. And then I'll be back and kind of give you my final thoughts. All right, you guys, that is gonna be it for this video. Trying tons of new makeup. I kind of wanted to go over everything and kind of talk about what I think about the products. Honestly, I was hoping we were gonna find some duds in here, and we really didn't. We really did not. So first of all, let's talk about the foundation for a second. It looks beautiful, you guys. I knew it. I mean, I didn't know, but I felt like it was going to because I just always constantly hear people raving about this. I mean, it's very, very beautiful. It honestly looks better now than it looked, I think, when I first applied it. I don't know if that has to do with the self-refreshing aspect of it or what, but I do think it looks even better now. And it does remind me of the Nars. Something about it really is making me think of the Nars foundation. I do think, like I said earlier, this one still looks a bit more glowy to me than the Nars, but I honestly think the coverage is about the same. The consistency feels similar. The Nars does not have SPF, so that is one difference. This one does have SPF, but I could definitely see this becoming a new favorite up there with the Nars for sure. The concealers, I really like both of them, honestly, you guys. The main difference I think between the two is The Shiseido is definitely, I think, a little more matte. The Bobbi Brown has a little more hydration to it, just with how it kind of sets down. The Bobbi Brown, again, is on this side. The Shiseido is over here, but they both look very good. I did not put any powder under my eyes. Also, I did use my Kosas powder, but I didn't apply it under the eyes. And you guys, I mean, you tell me what you think, but they look really good. They look really good. If I had to pick one, I mean, it's really hard. Honestly, I guess I would pick Bobbi Brown. I do think the Bobbi Brown color is a little bit better just because I think I could use it under my eyes and on my face like I did earlier. But the Shiseido is pretty too. I don't know. I don't know that I can say that I could pick. This, you guys, I'm sure you saw my reaction. No wonder you can't get your hands on these. This has to be the easiest to blend cream bronzer I think I have ever used in my entire life, and I'm not kidding. So if you're afraid of cream bronzer, this would probably be a really good one to go to. Color is perfection. Again, this is Happy Soul, so this is the second to lightest color, and yeah, this is gonna be a new favorite. I can tell for sure. And the blush, you guys, that Rare Beauty Happy blush, you just cannot beat that. You cannot beat it. The color is perfect. The formula is amazing. And also, I did want to say this brush, you guys were so right about this. A lot of you said you love this, and so do I. This is going to be a new favorite for me. Again, this is the 56 from Sephora, and I like it because it's different. Like I said, it's not as dense as the brushes you normally see me use, like my Smashbox Blurring Foundation is a little more dense. My BK Beauty 106 is kind of the same, a little more dense. This one is kind of dense, but it also has a good bit of movement to it. So you can really, you could blend with this even more than just stippling, which I like. And it worked well with the blush and the bronzer, like you saw. So this is good. For the eyes, the Gwen palette, I personally really like it. I think, obviously, this is not going to be for everybody. Not because people won't think it's good, but just because the color story is going to be for a very minimal eye look. You're not going to get a whole lot of depth with this. But for every day, if you want something super simple, you're not a shimmery kind of person, you might really like this. Again, not super pigmented, but I mean, they blended really beautifully. And I feel like this is going to be something that I reach for just on the daily. So I really, really like this. Let's see, what else did we do? Okay, the Macstack Mascara. I do like it. I do like it. I think, like I said, I don't know that everyone is going to love it. If you don't like that super intense mascara look, I don't know that you would love this, but I do think it does what it says. You can layer it and it makes your lashes have a lot of impact, a lot. Like I feel like my lash line, my waterline looks really thick and dark, and I don't have any eyeliner in my waterline, so it's all from that mascara. I do like it. Like I said, I don't think it'll be an everyday for me, but I do like the effect for sure. And then the lips, I have no complaints. Kind of hard to screw up lip products to me. The contour pencil, stunning. Love this color. Great neutral kind of brown taupey color. The formula on the Pat McGrath lip liners is so good. And the lip combo is beautiful. That Merit lipstick though, the formula on this is fantastic. So good. It feels so almost like pillowy on your lips. Very soft and has some color, but not too much. Packaging is stunning. So love this a lot. And then the Nars, you can't see the Nars that much because I layered it on top, but it's a beautiful color. Lip gloss, I already knew that I loved. I just had to add another one to my collection. Oh, and this is a really pretty highlight. Do you guys see? It's not glittery. It reminds me of the Flawless Filter. but just in a stick form. But I do like it. You guys, we didn't find any duds. Literally, we did not find any duds. Even this blush from Sephora collection is very pretty. It layered really well over the top of the Rare Beauty. Obviously, you can't see the color as well because I have that happy underneath, but it's pretty good. So yeah, we didn't find any duds, sadly, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These are, like I said, so much fun. My favorite thing in the world is to sit down and try new makeup. It just makes me so happy. So I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you are new, I hope you'll subscribe. And I believe you can still leave Sephora Squad testimonials. I will check on that and link it below if you can. If you haven't already, I would love it. It would mean so much if you could write me a little testimonial for the Sephora Squad. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. I will see you guys next time for another video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.